Hello there, welcome to another edition of the Poetry Slam Season 4. We are coming to you from the YMCA, and of course, this is the semi-finals. Last time we were at the Ibunjan Theatre, and you saw what the poets did in the quarterfinals. Well, this time around, it's getting even more intense as we're giving them a theme, and we've put them in duets. We're going to have 2 rounds in this particular round. First, the poets are going to come in 2, and the second round is going to perform their masterpiece. My name is Fatu Elika Muloshi, and before I do anything, I'd like to, of course, start off with introducing to you our judges. We have our full-fledged judges for the Poetry Slam, and I'm going to start off with Bai Ibrahim Cham. Bai is a reporter at GRTS. He's an anchor as well. Well, I like to say that he was a rapper before. A round of applause for Bai Ibrahim Cham. And our only female judge on the Poetry Slam is no other than Ndei Kumba Demba. Ndei Kumba is, of course, a writer, if you know her, by profession. Before, she was a journalist as well, a communication specialist. A round of applause for Ndei Kumba Demba. And lastly, we have Latir Kha. Of course, if you're a poet, poetry fan, and you love poetry, a Gambian, you have to know Latir Kha, as he is the creative director of the Black Magic. A round of applause for Latir Kha. Viewers, those are our judges, and with that, we'll begin the slam proper. The theme for this round is Behind the Veil. We will get to see how the poets play around this theme, as we never even give them the meaning. It is relative, and we hope to see how they will interpret this. And the first duet, we're starting off with Yama Danso and Seydou M. Kamara. A round of applause for them.
This veil, that veil, up not to know what is behind that veil. It's a meal, a black meal, that sends scams email to make sales and gain that land one in jail, knowing no hate, no tail, losing all in vain. This veil, that veil, up not to know what is behind that veil.
It's dark, so you can't be so fortunate to see. Keep it hidden, but a way to sway. The truth shall be seen. Di no matok sali wante xel. Why pour lii lu ñuy jix yàlla gis na. Yàlla xam na kon yàlla baax na. Also of peace now. My eyes can blink my heart. My heart can feel. My mind is telling me that I've been possessed. I think to hell. The society, I mean the name, should sing.
This veil, that veil, up not to know what is behind that veil. It's a game of shame, coiled in a cell of snail that stings and sting all passengers in the train. No trust, it's a fraud. To you I say, please abstain. This veil, that veil, up not to know what is behind that veil.
The society you see, don't treat it in my place. Young boy, nobody ma toroxal. Jël ma nobal ma ma nob di ma toroxal. See, I'm not the first child buñ ma benn di ma yaxal xamal. It is behind the veil, but I shall reveal your tale. I shall stare you just a taste and show your filth. You made me a prostitute, a servitude and a lost soul, but behind the veil I am innocent, at heart. No pain, no gain, but I've gained pain in my brain. A pain they made me gain, but behind the veil I am innocent.
This veil, that veil, up not to know what is behind that veil. Hell, it is home, but this it is name. It is sadist, lavish, and can make you banish and vanish. With your luggage loaded with garbage, with that bondage, you praise with fractures without bandage. This veil, that veil, up not to know what is behind that veil.
The trauma of being an innocent victim of unknown several crimes. Traumatic. You talk bad about me, describe me, call me skeptical, but hey, don't be so sarcastic. Be not I say, but say them they, that I may say what a slave seen as a clay. Suma la xamal lu do xam. Tax ma buga la xam no ne suma xëccé bu max ma sax lu tax diga bi nëbu. Téema rendi ma sax lu tax nit ñi tëju. Kon sa mëna tubak lu lebul la jaral li. Sani ma ay kaddu. Waaye sa mëna wax ak ku fam la jaralé li. Xamal ne nothing hits forever. This veil that be known, but this veil,
that veil, up not to know what is behind that veil. Thank you.
So that was Yama Danso and Seydou M. Kamara. Right up next, we have Usman Barrow and Fatoumata O. Tamba. A round of applause.
You hurt me. Left me hanging, accused me of being your obstacle. All I ever wanted is a piece of you. You gave me nothing. All I could hear is your silence, the brutal tales of your secrets. That voice was supposed to inform me, not hide behind surface till I break into smoke.
When I wake up where I don't want to sleep, where silence hums with all the musics in the heart. Death, yes, death lies hidden in that silence, and I've cried with mangled heart within, for I feel so empty and alone, even at my own home, with every new chapter, my heart being crippled through my infected blood. Blow after blow, my tears flow. The fight of surrender pants my fractured heart. Now all I need is to go without a trace.
Listen to me. Inside that head, so beclouded with empty buckets of vague pieces of blurry images seeking to foresee the secrets of destiny, wild in its surprising, so that we dream in bewilderness, unsure of our findings, unprepared for our passing, stashed behind the veil, gazing at trinkets of life lessons, the uncertainty of birth, the complexity of growth, the machinations of human beings feasting on blind loyalty, the ignorance of cold ego, groomed by laziness, a small cell to keep us wandering, isolated and not knowing anything.
In the stark corners of this room, all my hopes of life sings, for I feel blue and falling into pieces.
Listen to me. Listen to me. Stop covering yourself in secrets. If you and I would be, then trust me. Let me be your confidant, undivided, impregnable by slanderous tongue. Let them mourn till they regret for being a barrier, stopping us from being a whole under this unforgiving darkness full of unanswered questions.
Now you will listen. Even though I may feel the incessant knock of the virus on your body, but my emotional pain is so hard to explain. For the scars deep in my heart will forever leave its mark. Lock unlocking doors behind.
Who keeps the secrets
that has never been told? Who passes on what must never unfold? That which lies behind the veil. Abstract to men who have shallow eyes to see.
Caught behind the seals of men.
And we had the Fatoumata O Tamba and Usman Barrow. Right up next is Maud Lamin Keita and Ami Sohna. A round of applause for them.
Power has let loose from me. And if talking is like words from a toddler's mouth, I still want to speak. Because this mouth is lettered in everybody's mind. My tears are begging me not to cry because they don't talk to this heart. This heart does not belong to this mind. Just too feeble for me. I am your parched pain remedy. The queen of the podium, but the slave to your dungeon, your house. Beautiful couple, people say, while making love is like shoving rusted pins right through my skin. Every lover's eyes portray their lover's image, but my eyes are naked. Your image is crucified. I love you. It's more or less like last slap on my face. Can you stop telling your friends that I'm okay? Because baby, our marriage is nothing more than a ton of thorns, fire, and daggers. Yet it seems like a bed of roses to the outside world. I wanted to lock my face in your bravery. Breach your downfalls with my beauty. Remember your name like I remember my first kiss. Walking heels like you pay for me 75% salary. But every smile of mine today is one of your evil traits.
You ran your hands right through my sternum and cuddled my jewelry. At the start of things, I treated you like Snow White, thinking that you'd be a perfect queen. I made you a resident in my poems. Love is a coin of two sides, and you represented the sweetest side. I was sorry to know that that was not the real you. It was just a mask. The last time our photo got about 200,000 likes on Instagram, where our smiles explored the universe, but there is no room for smiles in our home. We won't even exchange saliva or that. You said I am your king, but I have become your subordinate, treating me like a king amid my friends and throwing trash at me in the bedroom. Isn't that the best definition of hypocrisy? Your betrayal reminds me of Delilah. You keep putting your voice in my shadow. The fake face you put on has faded. Your ego is your God, and you have to stop worshiping it.
Your image is the charms of the old. I'm not the makeup of an androgen, so don't blame me when your hormones drive you crazy. In fact, that was in the agreement that I should give you 75% of my salary. You're like calculus. I can solve or figure you out.
Why should I be the one to clean the kitchen and change the baby's diaper? You said my taste would be on your taste buds until breakfast time. It is dinner time now and you haven't served the dish. You said nothing will stop us, not our enemies, fire, mountain, Kilimanjaro, not even blood. But darling, money is stopping us now. We fight on Valentine's Day when we should be spending it at Chop Shop.
The whole things that we're the perfect family of four. We keep having 2 minutes sex and aborting babies that should have been part of these built family. And in fact, when you stop creeping into my social media pics, after your plea.
These scars are the fabric of evidence. Some secrets will only surface in the grave. Your mom was like, son-in-law, marriages bleed too, but they don't bleed in public. So am I the one to bleed in your arms? I mean, your arms.
I know.
As harsh as this word may seem, you and I need to face this. I put on a mask to hide every scar. Our marriage is nothing more than a tunnel of thorns, fire, and hot nails, yet it seems like a bed of roses to the outside.
Well, it is getting heated, getting even more interesting, and we're about to see our last acts for tonight's duet performance. And they are Adam and Bosch and Bintu Sane. A round of applause, please.
You should know.
Where do we begin?
I don't have to tell you.
The series of thoughts lingering in my mind.
Must I divulge?
The seen,
The zahir,
the unseen,
the party.
Hey, listen to me closely, closely. In this obscure world that we both live, I am seen as the calm,
The cool,
the timid,
the dead,
the meek,
the cold.
that I discourage, grudge, I hate whoever hates human.
That I love, I am lovely, I love whoever loves me.
I treat you and all with utmost affection. Wherever I go, I breathe unflinching positive emotions into your soul.
Extremely sympathetic to the pinnacle, trying my able best not to drown in the swimming pool of hostility, but protective.
Forgive and forget.
Invest on the needy,
Empty my pocket.
wholeheartedly give and never expect in return.
For behind the veil,
I hide behind the cotton clothes to see my blending good evil deeds, when who I am is who I portray. Yet who I portray is not all who I am.
a bunch of mistakes I have made. Their prices I have not paid. Committed felonies I still regret, like rape, like sexual assault, even though I was an adult.
Hey, don't tell me you have forgotten the men whose feelings I have encapsulated like hunger games. How I encapsulated their brains to spend on me, for me, most times, many times, all the time. How I redefined the doctrine of love, not in their favor. How I replaced desire with displeasure. This side of me, I don't reveal.
For the half-open box we see reveals my half face. Do you know that sometimes I am upset with all, wanting to fight all, due to my aborted dreams by everyone I am appalled. In the secrets of grief I am embodied by deeply rooted screams.
Gudina, why?
Gudina why, Gudina why,
Gudina, why,
oh, no gis ak no gisul, no yeg ak no yegul, no xam ak no xamul, lu la sama xama mayul, fi mu nekk nag yaa ko yeggul. So the corpse in my head are running after my sanity, and if I am not careful, I will soon see myself in a different world. So let's just calm down, chill, for real, breathe, a hole inside me for self-discovery. Comprehend and accept the seen and unseen of me, for it's something you can't extract from me and send away. For when you extract me from me, you no longer have me. So, before the veil is me, behind the veil too is still me.
Interesting first round, right? A round of applause for the poets once again, please. Right, that was interesting, and the theme was Behind the Veil. Now it is time for the judges to give us their impression, whether they felt that those duets did interpret this theme like the way they expected it to be done. I would like to start with you, by Ibrahim Cham. She's taking you by the storm today, yes. Your impression.
Okay. It was a magnificent performance by all poets, to be honest. They interpreted the theme in their own ways. They used their own creativity to do what they wanted to do. Yama Danso and Seydou Kamara, I'll start off with you too. The chemistry wasn't very much top-notch, I will say. Yama Danso's pace was quite different from Seydou Kamara's pace. You know, it was like Yama Danso was left in her own element, and Seydou was left in his own element. You didn't see too much of a teamwork in there, but the teamwork came in the parts that they recited the things, that chorus type of thing together, which was nice, which was very creative, I would say. Their individual performances within the piece, I will say that Yama Danso did very well, and Seydou Kamara too actually did quite well. I won't say the results now, but it was overall a good performance. It was average. I'll give it an average score. Now, Usman Barrow and Fatimata Tamba. Usman Barrow, for the first time, he came out of his comfort zone. He came with that aggressiveness. He's normally that shy, cool type, demeanor type of person, which we, let him be who he is. But today he came out of his comfort zone and gave us that aggressive. For the first time, I saw that what he will look. Ladies, you see how he looks like when he's angry, so don't piss him off too much, okay? But there was a little mistakes here and there. They had mistakes. Both of them had a little bit mistakes here and there, but you saw that the mistakes they made actually crept inside their heads and affected their performances. The aggressiveness that they started with died down as they went towards the ending of the piece. Maybe that's the style they actually chose to take, but to my observance, I think that the mistakes that they did in between actually affected their overall performance, especially going down towards the end. Now, now Mudlamin Keita and Amis Sauna. Mudlamin Keita is, one of those only poets. He's one of the only poets here, to be honest, that actually, puts metaphors, paradoxes in his. He used the proper definition of poetry is what Mudlamin Keita does. He actually he puts creativity in his pieces. Uses words which mean something, but uses it and twists it for a different meaning for something else. That's what I want to see in poetry. Poetry is similar to rap in that bit. You can use a word for something, but it can mean something else in your own piece, in your own way. That's what Mudlamin Keita does, and he did a wonderful performance with Ami Sauna. Ami Sauna did a great piece, but she's still not maintaining or trying to, what word should I use? Try to manage her pace. She's always too fast. She's always too fast. Mudlamin Keita was quite a little bit fast, but you heard each and everything that Mudlamin Keita was saying. Adama Bosch and Bintu Sane. In rap, what they just did, we call it back-to-back. In the other duets, this guy recites 4 or 5 lines or 8 lines, and then the other guy picks up. But nah, they didn't do that. In one sentence, they can go two words each, 3 words each. And that takes real creativity, real attention, and real practice to actually do something like that. And that's what they did. They gave each other, in 1 sentence or 3 sentences. That's what Jadakiss and Styles P used to do. In 1 or 3 sentences, they will share those sentences. And see, word for word, back to back. That's what they call back to back. And they did exactly that. And they invested in their performance. They had their outfits. They had their creativity. The powders here and there. They really, really cooked this up for us. They wanted to give us a show. They didn't just want to give us a piece and we just listened to the words. They wanted to give us a show. So they went the extra mile for that. I will tell them their results right now. They got 10 over 10 straight up.
I think Rahim is overly excited. And thank you for doing half of my job. Performing a duet is always not easy, and it has shown in the first 2 performances, especially with Yama Danso and Seydou Camara. Your writing was not in sync, and neither was your performance. I don't know how much time you've had to write together or to practice together, but it showed very poorly on both of you. Osman and Fatmata Otamba, they also had the fire, they brought it, but like Rahim said at some point, but that is on Fatmata though, she missed some of her lines, and it also took away a little from Usman's fire. But at the end of the day, I liked how Usman just took it over. He was able to continue and allow Fatmata to catch up the pace. So that was a really good performance. My performance for the night is Modulamin for this round. The night is still young. Is Modulamin Keita and Amis Sahana. For me, I think they had the best interpretation of the theme, which is behind the veil, and they gave us one hell of a performance. So congratulations to you both. Now, Adama and Bintu, you cannot fault that performance. From the preparation, and you could tell that you both invested time and energy into your piece. You were both in sync. You both had an idea of what you want you're behind the team to represent and you were able to execute it. So that is a performance that I cannot fault. So congratulations to you as well.
Congratulations to all the poets that made it to this round. Sorry, I wasn't here for the quarters, so I didn't get the chance to congratulate you. But I can see that some of my favorite poets made it through, so congrats to you guys. Now to my side of business. We spoke about the theme, all of us, and I think the poets did it justice. So another congratulations to all the duets. Could we give them a round of applause? Of course, some more than others, but I am very happy with the interpretation of the theme, and I think you guys did it justice. Now to the groups. The first set, Yama and Seydou. I felt some of the things we spoke about in the earlier rounds manifested themselves in your performance. I felt there were some misplaced words, some grammatically incorrect positioning of words. I heard something like, I am a servitude, things like that. So I had issues with that. Those are the things that I look for. Every judge looks for something special. I look for that. I spoke to someone yesterday about the different art forms. Actually, it was the kids at Halimba. Poetry is the most difficult art form because you cannot mask it. With music, there can be a lot of noise with the sound, masking the words. We have songs that we sing that we don't even know what they mean. Not music binehrek. Poetry, you cannot cheat the poem, If you don't say the words clearly, we don't hear it, we cannot judge you. So there are some of you that I did not judge properly because I really didn't know what you were saying. But Usman, for me, was one of the clearest performers tonight, so kudos to him. Fatoumata didn't do too bad in her clarity, but I felt she could have been clearer in her performance. Modu, Lamin Keta, and Ami Sohna. I like the fact that the judges are a little bit divided on the best performance of the night. I think that's exciting, but it shows that these two performances were really, really, really good. Everyone did well, but we have to be fair, even before we announce the scores, that these two performances were amazing. They blew my mind. I felt some did better than others. In the duo of Modu Lamin Keta and Ami Sohna, for me, Modu Lamin learned from his first performance to date. He keeps improving. The performance I saw him do here and the one I saw today are miles apart. And even that one was good. So kudos to him for growing and for learning. For me, if there was a singular performance, best performance of the night, it would be him. For me, he was easily the singular best performer of the night, but it's a duet. So there are certain scores that are shared between the two of them. Ami Sohna, I have a strong feeling that if I could hear everything she said, that was a powerful piece. I have a strong feeling, but I can swear, it's not a bias. I mentioned this the last time, and I'll mention it again. I couldn't hear a lot of what you were saying, Ami. That's the honest truth. And it's hard for me to give you a fair judgment if I cannot hear everything you're saying. You have to work on your delivery. You really have to. Your energy is always here. Your emotion is always here. But you're going so fast that I can't catch you. And this is not Formula One. You have to slow down the pace. But all in all, as a duo, I think that was a very powerful performance. Finally, I've given my performer of the night. My duet performance of the night for me is Adam Amboj and Bintu Sani. I think I added scores for various things. And for this group, I had to come up with things to add scores for. One was the coordination. You could tell that these people had worked together day in, day out to do that. So I gave them a score for that. I gave them a score for the synchronization of the words, like Bai was talking about the back-to-back. I work with poets every other day, and it's the most difficult thing to do. It's not just poets, rappers, musicians. Passing the mic is a tough thing to do. And you guys nailed it like professionals. I loved it. Preparation. It doesn't cost a lot to appear better prepared than your opponents. We've seen, this is not the first time, we've seen Poetry Slam participants do some amazing stuff with their outfits. Rohi Balora and the partner, we had that one that did that, like the Kankurang thingy, that scared all of us, you remember? But it doesn't cost a lot to do that. So they went the extra mile, they got some nice fabric and all of that stuff, but I think you guys can do better, and I'm sure when you saw them, all the other participants, you knew they came to win. You can tell. When you saw them walk in, I saw everyone just go, oh. So kudos to you guys. I loved it. You're my duo of the night. And I'll say for the first time, I scored a group above the 10 score.
The idea of the duet, of course, is to, give you and just put you in that dimension of you can be called as a performer, not only a writer, as a poet, but of course as a performer, to perform anyhow with anyone. So if you come here with the intention of only to win, we would put you in situations where you would have to perform as groups, and then we will test your group performance skills as well. There's a reason you're called slam poets, and it's not just about you. But of course, poetry it goes beyond you as a performer, but in fact, the people listening as well, and your fellow performers. So if you're able to bring that on here every week, because as we go, it is going to get even more intense, because this is something that we'll definitely look forward to in the finale as well. Not in duets as well, but group performances. So not to give you all the juicy details, it is going to be interesting as we move forward. And we have come to the end of the first round for the semi-finals. Welcome to the Poetry Slam semi-final round. We've just done the first round, which was the duets. And just to put across that a compilation or the pairing of the duets came from our co-founder, Aissatou. She's all the way in Turkey. She has no idea who the poets are. She just used her discretion and just gave us that compilation. And, well, you've heard what the judges had to say about their performances. And we hope that in this very second round, we'll see some very thrilling performances come along as well. Special thanks to AfriCell for coming on board this time around on the Slam. We are always happy to have them. This time, they were the first to raise their hands. Thank you all so much. Without much ado, I'd like to first of all start this round with Usman Barrow. A round of applause for him.
This piece is titled Men. Titled Men. Batuba Jura Jollen abatena emite tuke ana rimin achimen kakajani teo kajome leyut giggol ngandal aduna ko jabal e cellal wakilo jabo tagore Allah aduna ko ngurdang e mayde niwre e ndaygu wakilo janga neddo. Wake up, shine your eyes and grow up. This world has exiled honest men, good men, strong men, men who make up strength, gifted men, glued on ethics, heeding to the advice of history as they make history, diligently creative in their mastery of any art they portray luxury, fierce and just in their industry, the corrupt and their fury, putting to shame all born of mockery and trickery, hot when brought to mute cough for self-glory. Today, men cheat, beat, kill as they repeat, gloat as they laugh at dying men after defeat, film, rate the plights of other men in heat, fault others as they warm themselves in feet, pray for others' misfortune and guise as peat. Men are meat. Bad men eat good men meat, then take a seat, preach they were ever need. Honest men are never trusted because they never act for granted. Wise, they are wise, so they always think twice, talk nice, summon goodness to ill vice, Never vengeful for one to rise, so they never disguise. Never backbite like kitchen mice. They lay no heist, nor enjoy painful cries because spite they despise. Men are lost in lust, blinded when desire hosts. Spit in gush and not father for most. Breaking firm trust. Men make love to ghosts. For wealth, give offering to ghosts. But men will die is most. Turn dust and frost. Honest men, lying men, each to his post. Thank you.
First performer for the second round, that was Usman Barrow. Right up next is Modlamin Keita. A round of applause, please.
The title of my piece is Science and Divinity. Here it reads. It is a biblical and Quranic allusion that God in heaven created the heavens and the earth in 6 days. He created man from clay and commanded him not to slay because here no one stays. But science said it all started from cells, which are cousins to atoms and molecules. That is why our eyes attract particles. And the Friday or Sunday someone can't stop those particles because science is denser, but its density and intensity becomes God. So believe him when he says he can make us die and come back, die and come back, die and come back, just as molecules compact and then contract to cause a scientific impact. This shows my God's power is still intact. In fact, he's in contact with those who are on track. Androgen and oestrogen are hormones that depict our genes. The genes are hereditary, so who is the real owner? The lungs dangling in our chest like a Roman idol directly deals with oxygen, and oxygen is said to be a gas and it is invisible, just like the disciples of God. Well, if there was no ox in gene, it would have never become oxygen. I meant to say, if God's power sat back, air will become a dry tongue and breathing will be like choking, then death shall marry us twice. That is why he adorned some organs in a rib cage to protect them from the cruelty of humankind, but the science kind won't let them be. Chemistry is a house where chemicals reside in, and the chemists treat them like gems, forgetting that chemicals are hemmed by God, so whose chemicals are you worshipping? Albert Einstein is great. Could you please clap for him? Albert Einstein is great. Yes, he is super great, but his greatness can't be compared to that of my Lord. So why do you have to follow his theories and not the principles laid down by my God? Einstein created physics, but my Lord made him excrete physics which are woven in his intestines. Yes, my good Lord created his intestines, spines, and on his palms he placed some lines just like mine, which biologically differs from yours and mine. With or without the creation, he is still damn fine. My Lord is kind when he says prostitution is sinful, preventing us from its disease. And Einstein said prostitute X plus prostitute Y square root prostitute 6 plus 2M, where M equals to men equals to sex, which when divided by 2 sums up to HIV and AIDS. So he knows what crowds, cripples, and wrongs. My Lord used his hands to mold us like a bake, like he positioned the fireball like called the sun into a corner in the sky, serving as a lamp, the milky ball which illuminates at night, saving wanderers who wander at night. He dipped his hands into the ocean and said, be. Then fishes of all colors gave the ocean its complexion. My God sat and said, it's still not enough. He erected mountains, mounting into the sky, trees pointing their fingers towards heaven, trapping the rain pouring down from the sky, where the Almighty resides. Seated on his throne so high with no eyes, he still watches you and I. I swear I enjoyed Mrs. Ife's biology class. From the biology class, I learned that God's favorite color is green. That is why he created trees in trees. And in heaven, there are gardens for those whose hearts are like gardens, sprouting seeds like a maiden pure as Mary, the mother of Jesus. Jesus whose pains can trim your joy like a pair of scissors. So science, don't envy God like the brothers of Joseph by creating robots in human forms to sabotage his creation. If you have nothing good to say or offer, keep silent as Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam ordered. This poem itself is wordless and worthless because God created science as one of his signs. Nyung kuang ka fong ka fo fong ka ke fong ka je fong ka fe fong ka wato tamanya jibe iko alakiling so tata alakiling so tata alakiling atal katin na sama ka ngalasi atal katin na dol nya ka falasi atal katin na sitana ka dol marasi atal katin na muro ka dol farasi andung atal katin na taka jinyin stage kang buka embarrass. Thank you.
I can't even laugh. it's that intense for me, seriously. Because I know this is going to be tough on the judges. Letter is already timesing the X's and the Y's and just making sure the science is right somehow. But that was Mulamin Keita. A round of applause for him one more time. That's about speechless. I'm not allowed to make a comment, so we go to the next performer who is Fatoumata O Tamba. A round of applause for her.
The title of my poem is called Lost in Darkness. Hello, are you there? Are you listening? See, I called tonight and need you to listen to my anxieties. For when I close my eyes, visions of light disappear and nightmares reappear. For I feel myself being used and having my life being gripped out of me. For every truth we knew is now a debate for validity. When we believe lies like Adam and Eve, the first who disguised in the word, take and eat. Even 1,000 years later, us, the truth shall always be a newsfeed. A letterhead for empty heads, carved mirrors in sinking these. And every day we're desperately trying to fill the voids that we can even avoid, relying on what tomorrow may bring. Yes, hopeless, hopelessly hoping for false hope, for we no longer know who holds tomorrow, for tomorrow is not promised. What a misery. So are you there? Are you listening? See, we put on a mask and lose who we are, trying to be who we are not, like chains around our feet. Could we ever move an inch without the acceptance of being who we are? For we are lost in darkness and believing in illusion. Yes, the illusion of life, being good in the eyes of the media. Why so love that you can keep Why so love that you can keep, and the cause of Gislema keeps binding us day by day. Now here I am bounded for life. Come to me, come help me break these chains that holds me back. Help.
That was Fatoumata O Tamba. So well, it's getting intense, it's getting interesting. It's the semi-final round. And right up next is Bintu Sane. A round of applause, please.
The title of the piece is actually The Rebellious Soul, and it goes. In the secrets of his thoughts, when he listens to the sound of his heartbeat, when he walks, seeing his shadows on the lane of the earth, is when his evil actions come to start. Well, not actually he is the evil soul, but his soul has been possessed by the devil's body. And when the language of darkness portrays, when the animals of darkness reveals themselves, when the mother of all mystery shows her face, is when his evil actions come to start. And from that young girl's mind, he is a rapist. From the non-civilian, he is a criminal. And to society, he is rebellious. For he is the rebellious soul. Yet, he is not rebellious because he is less than what they labeled him to be, but bigger than his deeds. His mind has been charmed to be the playground of all corny deeds. So society misinterprets him. Confusingly, they confuse his body with his actions with his attitude with his ability, and finally, they judge him in their worst definition. But from the deepest story, this rebellion, they created in him. Down him and his soul, his body and his actions, forgetting that they're human. Forgetting that they're beings from the humankind. And the word perfect can never be possessed by them.
That was Bintu Sane. A round of applause for her once again. And right up next is Yama Danso. Welcome her on stage.
I thought, living souls in social media. I thought, it is what it is, but no, never. It is what they made it to be. I seen what I'm seeing. No, because you just want to feel. Now listen, I want you to be all ears. Solemnly promise yourself that you are nothing but yourself. You have nothing greater than yourself, and you cannot be anything greater than yourself, man. Gis nga fi ku fi siw ak ku ñu biw ñoo la fi beewloo tax nga war a wàccee sa bopp doon ki nga doon te fàttali suñu bopp fi kuñ fi xamut sa ndey xam nañ fi sa baay bu sa maam yi doon dajaloo ba di tàggatoo kon xale bu réew day moytu mag bu xam. To the living souls in social media xam ngeen lan la yaru leen te dal mënoo leen nekk quartier gox gi moo tax kenn du leen fal abalante mees di saccantu yëre ak xasante bi di xaste ngeen war a baal bul tëjlu say wërsëg ibil say bët nga ferenku laaye ci loo am jëlal loo amut muñal dama ne nga teylu sama sa barke tax luñ la jël loo nga jël gis nga di bakkoo TikTok mbaa WhatsApp gis nga Instagram du ñuy tiitaroo. Yes, let's talk about this handsome guy with a car. I mean that lady with the latest pro. Listen, my feelings are real, so pay heed to my loyal words. You see, social media is not the perfect idea to express who or what you get. Work hard and make mama proud. Besides, we're all something somewhere, so stop faking fam. You are nothing greater than yourself. Time is ticking. Tick, tick. Ring the bell. Cling, cling. Shout out loud. Don't taunt me, for you can't be a perfect jester. So tell me, when did you become a celebrity? You've been someone, no, I mean an unknown being who doesn't know if you exist. Now tell me, how on earth did you become that celebrity? Is it because of your crocs or trendy asses? Well, that doesn't make you a liability. Keep shut and relax. Know that the car of mendacity doesn't take you to the road to purity and clarity. Jaral na ma yelawani, don kima musona don. Don kima don tay ak don kima don ni electe banya sopeku don kima munta don. Sister, you want to become some celebrities, then get on your mats. Now, are you ready to be a stripper? Brother, you want to become some gangsters? Are you ready to be a dancer? Well, you wanting to be Yama, are you ready to be a poet? No, I know, because she's odd. She's poor and she's low. Now you think she's not worth being a celebrity. Well, I am my own celebrity. So remember, you are nothing greater than yourself. Bible topijiko jambur. Stop the imitation, for you can imitate. Remember, be dedicated to yourself. What you do today is what tomorrow will imitate. In the so-called name of social media, nga jël awra jambur diko tasare. Te yow settu bi ngay settoo say awrang la sutura du ko wane mukk ngir musu koo xalaatee kon yow doomi aadama ana sa yére man de ak xol bu sel ba di jël lii di ko partagé ma lay laajte, why did you upload his or her naked videos and pictures despite knowing that you have destructed his reputation and you testified lust and anger? Wow. The victim testified lust and anger. Can you get over it? The victim testified lust and anger. You don't dare lost your way when that stands. It cursed you a cost and you hosted your ghost. So don't tell me you were lustfully lost with your guts. Listen, so don't tell me you are lustfully lost with your guts. You see, living souls in social media, xam ngeen lan la gaadu leen seeni dobos te ñibbi seeni kiri baay. I mean, it's not the perfect lot for you to say you are abusing the media, but the media is not abusing you. So don't ruin its reputation. Thank you.
Well, Yama came at us big time. A round of applause for Yama once again. Okay. Right up next is Adam and Bosch. A round of applause for him. Adam and Bosch is up next. Are you here? Yes.
The title of this poem is You Are Not a Myth. You are? Not a myth. A myth. M-Y-T-H. Myth. Gis-gis xalaat wala yëg-yëg duñu benn wallahi ku ko weddi fen yoo wann dinga ko goqi ndax fii xol bii yaa ko moom yow kenn bëgg naa nga doon sama jabar ñu jur fi ay doom yu bari def lu kenn defut jamono ji ndax yaa ngi si man maa ngi si yow ñun ñu ngi si ñun fu gën a xóot si ñun te suñ ruux yee njëkk a dajee balaa jëmm yi di jàppante moo tax dofuma ba di la tékkaleeg lenn kon ngalawaay nañu ànd lang sàngoo suñu cofeel ba nooxóor yi duñu mën a gësam sagam sama xol ak sa xol leen takk ci araste sa seeraay man rek a am njëgam yàggut bu ñu xamante nga wan ma nu sa xol setee ma sopp ni nga yiwee nga bëgg ma bëgg la bëggaat bëggati ba bëgg ni nga neexee nga daldi ma def sa yëf heure bu ma la nee jàkk sama xol ne tëf lu ma andi bu la neexee nga këf ndax sama mbëggeel dafa diis dëgër am doole ni mbaam sëf. You conceive the pangs of my heart and tell them all is well. Tomorrow you will fix the buttons of my shirts and tell me, Twilight, the soft hand of destiny will soon ring the abundant life enjoyment bell. In our world of cleanliness, my appearance can't be worsened by dirt, for the practice of proper hygiene instilled is in you, and it you do not buy or sell. For your fluffy cheeks, colored lips, well-structured hips make the neurons in my brain spin, which is why every path I walk on is brightened by your fairy skin. Look, I will agree if my friends say on me you cast a spell, for the way you lighten the spark in my heart, my eyes can actually tell. So please come closer. Let's toast the moon like a Dalasi coin. Enshackled by the light of immortal boon, like the sun and the stars combined. Let's fly to the seventh sky very soon, like doves that emanated from the same point. For you are not a myth, and you are the one I choose. So open your eyes wide, and I will demystify for you the purity of God's creations. Raise your hand slowly, slowly, but do not say goodbye, or else I will convince myself that letting you flee is just a mere misconception. Look at me, tell me, you aren't shy, and I would write you a dictionary of jokes, which when you read humor would shake your cheeks all weeks. Whatever you do, just do not try, and I will take you to paradise. Let its everlasting light cast a shadow on your soul forever. For you are not a myth, and you are the one I choose. Baby, I know the way I love is farce and strange, but seeing you in amusement, me it gladdens. Seeing you in pain, your face painted with grief, inside me it saddens. For the happiness of you, in addition to mine, shall not be a fantasy. For you are not a myth, and you are the one that I choose.
Oh my goodness. So much amusement is getting intense. We are getting there. We are getting there. That was Adam and Bosch. A round of applause for him one more time. And right up next is Seydou M. Kamara. Seydou, you are up on stage.
The title of my piece is Human in Chameleon, or Human in Chameleons. Okay. I'll read. Dark in the quiet night, when all human beings have their heads on their pillows, birds in their nets, rats in their holes, parrots in their hives, fish beneath the sea, monkeys on tops of trees. The moon has reached out above, the morning clouds has covered the stars. Who stays awake? None, except that man, the most peaceful, pure, and pious, the angel, a saint, a prayer warrior, the God-loving, God-fearing, kind, humble, generous, the man that society has painted with honors, trustworthiness, and has believed to come from heaven. That's the man who stays awake, dressed in a loose gown, decorated with red seals and cowrie cell, walking steadily to that quiet cemetery. To that tomb, like an archaeologist, he will excavate the tomb, cut apart from the body of that hello disease. Could it be from his garment, toe, legs, or other organ? He don't fear neither care. He peace and tear without dare. That man, in that night, in that cemetery, at that tomb, he will bury his jujus, incarnate, enhance evil spirit, sprinkle magical water, all done in that night, in the middle of that night. That man, in that night, in that home, he will do evil. In that office, he will do evil. In that river, he will do evil. On that tree, he will do evil. On that plant, he will do evil. All done in that night, in the middle of that night. Oh God of mercy. All these strange rituals are purposely meant for the innocent man, whose hard work and success is a benefit to the whole society. But then, it is done for him to die, go to jail, have an accident, lose a leg, lose everything out of hatred and jealousy. Just a crazy world. At dawn, he's in the mosque with his long strings bead, counting astaghfirullah, astaghfirullah. Or on Sunday with his rose, shouting hallelujah. Confident he has won when the omnipotent, the omnipresent, the taker, the giver, the all-knowing, all-seeing is patiently waiting for him, for the day of resurrection shall come. Pretending not knowing, however, I remind him that this world is 4 minus 3, 15 divided by 3 minus 4, 1 plus 0 minus 1. It's a 360-degree angle, a bomb rage. Indeed, we are living in a crazy world. To God we belong, and to him we shall return. Every night before I put my head on my pillows, I recite my supplication and pray for a wonderful morning for the whole of mankind. Thank you.
That was Seydou Kamara. Seydou is the only one poet. We, of course, this time around we have poets from across the country, across different regions. He's the only one to have made it this far outside KMC and the West Coast. And I want you all to give him a round of applause one more time. Seydou is all the way from the Central River region. We're happy to have him this far. And last but not least, in this particular round, we have Ami Sauna. A round of applause for her.
I mean, bleed. Let your heart be broken into uncountable missing pieces. Because I will pick each. Fail the puzzle, fix again, fail the puzzle, fix again and again. Well, I'm not all that patient, you know. So I need you in your dead made tissue so we could build our own blocks of our lives. Because when you read, I write. But when you write, I read me. Are you stumbling on the blocks that drank my tears like the 14-decade barren land doors? Are broken thoughts ripping you into pieces I should fix in the darkest hours of the night? Does your tears take you to bed? Are you pegging at poles to see this clouded, quiet, loud, missing piece? I am waiting for you. I'm not going to tell you that I'm a poet, but you better be one. So finally, when you grab hold and crack open this heart-tender tissue, do know that this is a cliff of imperfection and a pebble of perfection, a little bit of both. Because you're not going to hear me say anything like, you are my wall, because the wall has us both and it belongs to God, not you. Not anything like, I will die for you because death was created before life, not created for you. Or something like, life without you is meaningless, because I'm a fraction to what life means, bro. So those things are not what being romantic means to me. Those are what lives are for me. So I'm waiting for you. Touch. Easy. These long gone propagated seeds. No, I'm just kidding. I know I'm crazy, but I'm afraid of cockroaches too, you know. Your tears will undoubtedly ambush my iron steel. So I don't need you to have 6 packs, but have a pad that will hold this head and its embarrassed tears. No stuffed arm muscles, but arms that is a home in your house. Being broke and single is not fun, is it? Choosing me. Forget it, I'm not an angel. I'm the very handmaid of the devil himself. Picking me, you're picking yourself. I'm not saying this to scare you out, but fix me in yourself and let's see perfection through imperfection. Choosing me, you're choosing your own kind in a baby form, so take it easy with me. Take it easy, because I'm a cocktail of all forms of madness. Naughty, complicated, ego-coated, and most often than not wear Satan's shoe. Take it easy. In the darkest hours of the night, respond to me, because I can hear you. At least that's the only lie that is true right now. So I know who you are, but not what you are. Another lie that is true. I don't know where you are, but I don't know if I love you. I just don't know, but you know, I think I do. I think I really do. But do you? I'm ready for you.
That was Sauna. A round of applause for her once again. Ndekuma, that takes me back to the broken pieces, right? You are the apple of my eye. You're the cockroach in my cupboard. All those things we said to each other when we were much younger. So have been broken into more broken pieces. I think that explains why I chose broken pieces, right? Because they are all lies, actually. So that brings us to the end of the second round and the end of the performances. Just to let you know that this season, we are pegging the grand prize at $50,000. We are trying. That is what we want to do. And the winner represents the Gambia in the Africa Cup of Slam Championship. It's going to be a very interesting ride we'll have in this final round. And I bet the poets we see here today are giving us the impression of having a great final round. On that note, I hand over to the judges for their final impressions in this round. Yes, I start off with you, Ndaikumba. Tell us, what do you make of this?
For this second part, I was not really a judge. I was only enjoying all the performances. And I just want to put this out there that by virtue of making it to this position, being here today, you have already done really well to be here. If you have followed the trajectory of the Poetry Slam and the type of participants we have on the slam, you would know that making it to the quarterfinals or the finals, even to the semifinals, is a very mean feat that you should be proud of. And also, let's just give them all a round of applause. Let's just breathe. And to the audience, we have to, everyone who is here have to be there on the day of the finals. You guys bring the energy. And yes, I was so happy. I was so happy when I saw the level of support that the audience gave to Yama when she needed it. Part of being an audience also is being a support system to the participants, and you guys, it's a 10 for me. Coming to the participants proper, Yama Danso, I think if you did not perform that piece, it would have really been a tragedy. That was a really good piece. It needed to be heard. And oh, you were really, truly amazing. Not performing that piece. I don't know what Latir said to you, but thank you, Latir, because that piece needed to be heard. And also, for some reason, your Olaf is just impeccable. Between you and Adam and Bosch, you get me all the time, and kudos to you. I equally liked Seydou's Camara's performance, and also kudos to him for making it this far, being our only participants from Central River region, given that others did try to make it from the show. Equally, Fatu Otamba, I think your worst mistake today was when you got stuck. You should have just breathed and started your piece again. I think if you did that, you would have gotten it right. Sometimes the nerves gets to you. It's a competition, and it's quite understandable. And sometimes we, the judges, give you a break. But you could have taken it and not just given up mid-piece, because the way you started, it already showed that it was it was a really good piece. And if you had gone through it, you would have done great. So maybe this is not for today, but for another competition, it's okay to have nerves. It's fine. It's normal. We get it. But make sure that you're not giving up on your piece, and definitely not giving up on yourself. Modulamin Keita, is this smile saying anything? Modulamin Keita, I don't know, I feel like the judges tend to give you very rosy remarks, but it's true, you've earned every rosy remarks that that is made, that is given to you. I wouldn't go into I will not go into the science bit of what you said. That is Ratil, and that is Latil's feel. I could see him going on, taking a couple of pointers. I'm sure if you had anything there that was not scientifically correct, Latil is there to correct that. I was enjoying the performance as an audience member and not as a judge this time. Amis Sauna, wow. You've always been amazing from the start of this competition, but I think that performance that you gave here today, it was deliberate, and I don't know whether it was Latir or Bai who told you to take your time in reciting your piece, but yes, you did take your time to recite your piece, and I like this slow, deliberate pace of it. And let's not even talk about how good in itself that piece was. So kudos to you as well. Binta Sane, for the first time, I was a little confused with the piece. There was a portion I had rapist, criminal, rebellious, and I don't even know how they all tied in nicely together. And then at the end also you did say that they were that way because they were a product of the society. So I really did find that a little confusing, but overall your performance was good. And Adam and Bosch also, you always deserve a rose. I'm giving it to you. And overall, it was a great performance. And I must say that you guys have given us a finale level type performance. And I absolutely enjoyed it. And congratulations to all of you.
Thank you very much, Ndaikumba. I think your opener cancels anything I wanted to say about everyone, the audience, and all of that. So I wouldn't waste time. I'll go straight to our performers. I'll call you that because that's what you did today. I'll start from the top. with Usman Baro. I'll tell you the notes I wrote because I've forgotten the pieces. I wrote wow, exclamation mark, just wow, exclamation mark. The scores we'll deliberate on later, but that's how taken aback I was by that performance. I loved every single bit of it. Modu Lamin Keita, I love when people blend scripture with our existence. I grew up with a theologian, so it's close to me. So I didn't have a problem at all with the scripture infusions. They were amazingly interwoven. Very nice. Very nice. I think you actually maybe converted a couple of people in the crowd. But I had an issue, like they're saying, when you take a regular subject and you turn it technical, remember that you'll be critiqued technically. Muloshi, I'm sure, would agree that when you go to the Africa Championships, technical subjects have technical critiquing because it has to be factual. As poets, we are messengers of the word. So there were a few, but the most important one was when you called for me Einstein, the father of physics. As an engineer, physics is what I live. And I had to check Daman Mafate, but it's a big misquote when you are into science. It's Galileo who is the father of physics. In fact, Einstein calls Galileo the father of all forms of physics, both quantum and not. So I had a problem with that. So please, your research, get it right on things like that. Otherwise, if you do win this competition and go to a bigger stage, you will be critiqued on your research. Fatoumata O Tamba, you see what happened there, Ndekumba. I wrote wow in the beginning, and then I had to scratch it when she left. So I am totally with Ndekumba on saying you started so amazingly well. When you had your break, I would have sympathized. You wouldn't have gotten a perfect score, but I would have really sympathized with you, taking a deep breath, asking for an excuse, sitting down for a minute, getting up and performing. But when you leave, I cannot score you. I honestly can't. So that is my take on that. But you're a poet, you made it this far, so good luck going forward. Next, Bintu Sane. Again, Bintu, all I had was wow, exclamation mark on your piece. So on your performance, I was like Ndekumba, I was more of part of the audience than anything. That was really, really, really nice. Yama Danso, you were the first person I already gave a +1 before I scored at the end. And the reason I gave you a +1 was because I felt out of all the pieces, to me, yours was the most timely relevant. The social media, hula baloo, and all of that madness. You know? So the moment you started, I already had a +1 for me for choice of topic, and so expect that no matter what, you starting at 1 out of 10. Yeah. Adam Mboj, I am sure all the poets would think I am very biased towards Adam Mboj, but it is very well deserved. I usually pen scribble quotables when I'm super impressed, and so I stole a few of your lines. Suñu ruux yee njëkk a daje, you know, like I think I know what line to use anytime my wife is upset with me now. But my most favorite line, my most favorite line so far since I started judging the Poetry Slam this year was where you said, "Toss the moon like a Dallas coin." I don't know if you meant what I thought you meant, but when we look at the moon, we see the Dallas. And so playing with that as kids, we always used to say, "Hi, hola lini bi nakala turati, jesit bi." You know, the way you infuse that into that line, it blew me away. I loved it. So I have a long list. I won't keep you here, but I wrote perfect love poetry. And the reason why I am so impressed, love poetry is overdone. It's so tiring. It's so fatiguing. Everybody in this room has written a love poem, at least once in your life. So whenever anyone performs love poems, we're all like, "Oh, not again. I've heard that before. Oh, that is so corny." Oh, but this was so fresh and so nice. Honestly, I feel like recording that because my wife is upset with me. I feel like recording that and playing it. No, Adam, I found my yobuko. Yeah, that was nice. Seydou M. Kamara, again, relevance. I gave you a +1 for relevance, so you're starting at 1 even before going. Seydou, I think you should be extremely proud. The reason I'm saying this, I don't want to, you know how you, I don't know how you call it, how you downplay a certain society's talents, and so you overcompensate. I don't want to overcompensate, but fact is fact. What these youngins have at their disposal in this area, with just the environment, with the things that they see, the movements, the tourist industry, and how it infiltrates into their minds and their thoughts, they have so much wealth of things to work with. But for you to come from miles away, still the same Gambia, but not living in this crazy environment, and to do what you do, you are inspiring. I love it. I love it so much. And if Muloshi didn't mention it, I had no idea. So I love it, and kudos to you, and keep pushing. Finally, Ami Sauna, I wrote down 2 things which I think you should hear. The first line was, "She made my heart melt." And the second line was, "Her pace makes her voice angelic." The way you delivered, there were moments where you were fast, but you had to be fast. But for most of the piece, you sounded like how I would expect an angel to sound reciting poetry. You know, it was. I am writing my own love poetry now, but yes, Ami Sohna, amazing. My performer of that round by a half mile. I love that.
First of all, start off with the top, Usman Barrow. Okay, Usman Barrow, you gave a very strong, captivating piece about men, you know, the do's and don'ts, what we do well, what we don't do well. And you gave it a very great perspective of a man, in a man's perspective. So the piece was very strong. I really liked it. Moving on to Emel Keita. Emel, I'm not sure if the Quran said that God made the world in 6 days. I think that's a biblical scripture. I'm not very sure if the Quran said that or not. But I think that's a biblical scripture. So just for fact checking, just keep that in mind. But another thing, Usman, be careful of your stamina. You in this piece, you were actually a little bit fast, jumping, aggressive here and there. But I could tell that the way you land, that your stamina wasn't very much strong. But you didn't slip. As much as I could notice that, you didn't slip to make it very obvious. But apart from that, the piece was wonderful. The piece was, very captivating. You know, you actually kept us on our toes, and it was a very good piece. Fatimata Otamba, forgetting your lines doesn't mean you should quit, to be honest. But anyway, just keep up the good work. You've been an amazing poet throughout this whole slam, and I wish to see more of you, even in the finals coming, or whatever happens. We will love to see more of Fatimata Otamba. Bintu Sane's piece was so short. Heavy, it was finished. But to be honest, it was a very nice, short, precise piece, in which I would like to see more of those type of pieces, in which because even in the work we do as a journalist, you have to shorten your script. Your whole story should be so short and have to contain all the necessary information that we need to hear. That's exactly what you did with your piece. You kept it short and kept it juicy, kept it, very much, it had so much content with it. Yama done so great. You actually broke down in the starting. You were kind of nervous and stuff. But why did you want to just give that throw that piece away? That was one of the best pieces out here today. To be honest. And the thing is, what I was so wild about was you were kind of, scared of coming on stage. But when you came back, I don't know what Latin gave you. You came back very, very energetic, very strong, very confident. We saw the confidence in you. You were calm, collective. You let it out easily, smooth, nice. It was perfect. Adam Mboch, there's something that Adam Mboch does with you guys. Adam Mboch is that type of poet that he ticks all the boxes for you. He ticks all the boxes for you he has the creativity with his words. He knows how to use the sentences, his posture, the way. Man, Latin, I think when you guys started word of mouth way back, I don't think these kids are way nicer with words, with love words, man. Oh, boy, no issue guy there, but home boy, I'm not forced line it again now, boy. Oh my God. But okay, moving on. Miss Sauna, yeah. Miss Sauna, thank you very much for slowing your pace down. You slowed your pace down. It was nice. The performance was great. And for the first time, you didn't want to kill a man. For the first time. For the first time, you welcomed us. Even though you were a little bit skeptical here and there, you were like, okay, maybe this doesn't buy, but at least you welcomed us. So thank you very much for welcoming us. We appreciate that. I won't ask for a hug though. I'm all right. Don't worry. But anyway, it was a very, very nice piece. I don't know where you guys get these words of love. You guys make love all brand new for us. You guys want me to go 10 years back into my youth. But to be honest, the way you guys craft these pieces of love, especially the pieces of love, which Latrika said is so cliche, but the way you craft it makes it feel all brand new. So that's it for my comments. We'll table the points.
Feminist love, we love to see. That's why we have people like Ndekumba, as part of the judges, just so they can give us that balance we need. But a minute for the judges, and when we come back, we'll know the 3 poets leaving the Poetry Slam. Do stay. Welcome back to the Poetry Slam Season 4. This is the semi-final round, and we've come to the point where I'll have to hand over to the judges to give us their results. This is the point we'll get to find out who is making it to the final round. We're going with 5 finalists, meaning we're dropping off 3. Bye, Ibrahim.
Okay, thank you very much, Fatou Mulushi. Okay, me, Latir, and Ndekumba has actually come to the conclusion. First of all, we want all the poets on stage. Yeah, all the poets on stage. Okay, let's first off start with the poet. We start off with the poet with the highest score, who has the performance of the night. He got 10 in all rounds except 9, I believe, but he had the highest score, and that is no other than Adam Mboch. So he's the performer of the night. He's safe. Adam Mboch, congratulations and welcome to the finals of the Poetry Slam Gambia. See you very soon. Bintu Stanis, step forward, please. Mudlamin Keita, step forward, please. And Seydou Kamara, step forward, please. Okay, these 3 made an exceptional performance today. They all gave us their A game, and they've been great performers. And they all of them 3 deserve to be in the finals. But Mudlamin Keita, you're safe. Now this is a very tough decision between Bintu Sane and Seydou Camara. Very, very tough one. They're both great poets. They have their different styles, their different distinctions and things like that. But to proceed to the next round, one had a leverage over the other, and that is no other than Bintu Sane. Bintu Sane is safe. Seydou Camara has been eliminated, but we will want to congratulate him for being one of the best performers in this Poetry Slam for the first time, coming from the Central River region for the first time, making it way up to the semifinals. He deserves all the recognition. He deserves a round of applause. Give him a round of applause. Thank you very much for coming to the Poetry Slam. Okay. Ami Sauna, step forward, and Fatimata Otamba, step forward. Ami Sauna has been a great performer. Fatimata Tamba has been an exceptional performer. Fatimata Tamba has grown through the different stages of the Poetry Slam. She has showed us her creativity, how it actually progresses. She gives us the performance. She has that confidence in her. Ami Sauna has been slipping many times. As much as she's a good performer, she has been slipping many times with regards to her pace. And we warned her many, many times. Now, there was one simple mistake that happened today, which was Fatimata Otamba dropping the mic. And Ami Sauna worked on her pace. So that's what happened. Ami Sauna worked on her pace and gave a good performance today. Fatimata Tamba dropped the mic. But overall, through the stages of the Poetry Slam, I've seen more progress in Fatimata Otamba than Ami Sauna. But unfortunately, we're judging for today. We're judging for today. Right? So the one who is safe today is Ami Sauna. Fatimata, to be honest, she was one of the best performers. We've witnessed her growth throughout the whole competition. And it was just a mistake she did today. And we're actually judging based on your performance on the day. It's not like a collective scores we're actually taking, but she's an exceptional poet. Keep up the good work. And I will plead this to Latir, who's like the kingpin of poetry here in the Gambia, to actually not let these chick kids go. Make sure, please, harbor these kids, take care of these kids, nurture these kids, invite them to the Bristol, and they can actually, revive the spirit that they have. Because maybe these type of things actually break down their spirit, but inviting them to do their pieces in a larger crowd will actually help them more. So give a round of applause. So between Usman Barrow and Yama Danso, Usman Barrow, please step forward. Yama Danso is like the lioness of the Poetry Slam. She is an exceptional performer. Today she gave us her A game. She gave one of the best pieces of the night. Usman Barrow just scored a little bit more in the duet performance. In the duet, Usman Barrow scored a little bit more than Yama Danso. But Yama Danso went almost head-to-head with Usman Barrow on the single performance, on the private pieces. They both had very, very good pieces, and it was very, very tough to judge between them two. But based on the scores, one had a little bit higher point than the other. So, we're going to go to the hard decision that as much as we love you, and as much as you've been great throughout the whole performance of this Poetry Slam champion, one has to proceed and one has to drop. Usman Barrow, I'm sorry, but you're safe.
We have come to the end of the semi-final round. These are our 5 finalists. A round of applause for them one more time. We'll be going with them all the way. The finale is for the 23rd October. We'll be communicating that accordingly. We have a lot more in store. This is going to be an intensive 4 weeks as we're going hard to bring you a show. Not only performances, but a show. Your 5 finalists all the way to the Poetry Slam finale. I'll see you on the 23rd when we come back again to give you a grand show. Bye-bye. And the prize is, what is the prize again?
50,000.
Don't miss it. Bye.